ears.
That's what she said.
The stuff that you guys don't see that goes on behind the scenes. Hey there, people's YouTube. I'm the Motorcycle Mick. I am joined again by my panel, Wigsley, the Norseman, and Johnny Roblox. I'm the Motorcycle Mick. I am joined again by my panel. Who the fuck's got backfeed? Wait, what's the fuck limit for a video?
Sorry.
Okay, so
Sorry.
I did this last night. I was smart enough to monetize the live stream before it went live. And I called it. I was like, man, as soon as Ken got to like his fourth or fifth F-bomb, I think that put us over the 10. And as soon as the stream was over, I went and looked back at the YouTube stats, and sure as shit, limited for monetization. I was like, God. So I need to figure out a way, and this is something that I run a small podcast, so I'm not going to go super crazy with the studio build out, but I need to figure out a way to have every person's audio channel coming into a mixer, even if they're on the internet somewhere, and I can bleep out and just have like
And delay it.
yeah, have Ken on like a 30-second delay that I can go in and bleep.
That'd just completely be hilarious. Big, my team just won the league, and I am drunk as a motherfucker. What's up, Scouse? His team just won the league. I soccer, maybe? Drunk as a motherfucker. What sport are they playing? I mean, you guys got a lot of crazy ass sports up there. Anyways, before I get too distracted by that stuff, this week's video, if you have not caught it, is about making power with your bike with not having to buy into all the other crap people want you to get.
Nitrous.
Yeah, that nitrous. So today we are what?
Might as well put a supercharger
Well, I guess-
on there.
What? Nitrous is the biggest bang for the buck. Period. It's the cheapest power adder you can put on any vehicle.
You shouldn't bang bucks. They don't like
Yeah,
it.
you better hope to God that you're. You got to make sure your power plants can take that kind of juice.
Yeah.
Ah, send it.
Also, before we get too far into that, too, you guys check this out. This is a logo that Wigsley did. This is my heritage. This is my scooter. And because I liked it so much, it is now on T-shirts, along with other ones. So we have a Teespring account. You guys go check that out. All these proceeds to this stuff, when you buy it, goes to help a veteran get a motorcycle. If you don't know what Project Clean Slate is, go check it out. At Between Two Wheels, it's spelled T-O-O in the middle, not the number 2. Don't be that guy.
It's spelled T-W-O,
I don't know.
not T-O-O.
It does what I want. Anyways, go
He's
check
good at
out
a lot of
Project
things.
Clean
Spelling
Slate.
is not one of them.
No one ever claimed Mick was smart.
Nope.
But he is. SMRT.
Smirt. He just smirted that homework.
So what are we talking about tonight?
So tonight we are talking about bolt-ons for your bike. Bolt-on
Oh,
power.
for the bike. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what you're doing with your free time, but I'd talk to a doctor.
It said bolt on, not strap on.
Yeah.
See, I get those mixed up.
You spelled snap on wrong.
Okay, so what about bolt-ons?
So we're talking, I guess bye for now. So what we're talking about bolt-ons is adding power to your bike for the least amount of money. Come on,
Are we
there we go.
talking maximum power for least dollars, or are we just talking least amount of dollars? Because those are two different things.
It's not so much least amount of dollars. It's more along the lines of like looking at how to get power out of your bike before you go up to go to power adders, I should say, like at bolting camps and stuff like that.
But then that's my answer, cams.
Well, you have to do everything in a somewhat certain order. You can't just go throw a cam in there without changing out the intake and allowing more air to actually flow into the engine, as well as the exhaust, to allow more of that air to exit. So
It kind of defeats the purpose.
yeah, if you have a choked down exhaust system, like pretty much every stock exhaust system from every manufacturer, you don't want to go and open up your exhaust valves even longer when you're not able to actually flow that air out. So I would say for a American V-twin, you need to start off with air intake and exhaust. And if you have a twin cam or newer, 2-into-1 exhaust and not shorties. You need to have longer tubed headers.
I think, I mean, I agree with you there. The only thing is like, I think you can't beat like a good laid out plan, because it's like, you know, I see a lot of this where people will go ahead and they'll change the exhaust, they'll change the intake, and then they'll go do a bolt-on cam, and then want to try to pull some more ponies out of it to where they go to a hotter cam, and now you realize that you have to do like head work and everything else. So with that, you know, it's good to have like a really good laid out plan saying, okay, this is my ultimate goal. I want to get to X amount of horse or X amount of torque. That way you're not wasting the money.
And that's, I think Norseman brings up a great point. When you are looking at developing your plan, you need to have your mechanic there. You and him or her discuss it. Figure out, okay, I want to make 190 horsepower out of my Harley. How do we get there? And then figure out all the parts you're going to have to do or buy to get there, and then start from the bottom and work your way up.
Yep. Because there's nothing worse than, you know, you start doing everything in steps, and you start spending money on a bolt-in cam that you're going to go ahead and replace a year later. So that's like, what, 150, 200 bucks gone?
At least.
You know?
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe for an Evo, not the
Well, no. Yeah. If you're going
$300 to $400 for the cam if you install it yourself.
Yeah.
$10,000 for the cam if you get installed by Harley,
Plus your firstborn.
plus your firstborn and your left arm.
I will tell you this though, like little things that kind of like you pick up along the way, just the mere fact of having like adjustable push rods, those are a must, you know, and most people figure that out when they do their first like cam change, or if, you know, you develop a leak around the tappets, you know, that's the best way to go. You know, that way you can just unbolt them, you know, shrink them, pull them out, and then do the work that you need to do.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Well,
sorry. I
go
was
ahead.
replying to a comment in the side chat. But no, I mean,
Case closed.
yeah, no, it's not always case closed.
Next topic.
No, so when you guys are talking about going into those things, though, like, is there a certain company you stick with for stage one parts? Like every different bike, like you've had like what, 10, Johnny?
Honestly, I am a cheap bastard. So on my twin cams, every twin cam had the exact same exhaust because they were takeoffs. So from that, I haven't changed exhaust. Now, with the new bikes, I'm running Vance and Hines Pro Pipe, and it's my fourth one that I've had. I do like them. They're inexpensive. They look nice. They sound great. And I've never had one show any rust. So,
Right on. Oh, your bike's fuel injected?
yes.
Okay. So I'm thinking from our viewers that have carbureted, you know, jets on the carb are also a quick bolt on. I'm speaking for the old schools.
Yeah. See, speaking of old schools, the best bolt-on for an old school is a new school motor. So That's the number one power adder you need to buy. If your motorcycle has an Evo, save up some coin, go get a twin cam 103, drop that in there.
Actually, I'm going a different route. I'm
Okay.
actually going to
Save up some more coin, buy an M8.
Jesus, save up some more coin, and you can just buy a new bike. I mean, my thing is I actually want to take and kind of like following Mick's advice. You know, we were just talking one day, and I really want to stick with like the 80 cubic inch. So what I want to do is I want to see how many ponies I can crank out of that thing. So I'm going to buy a spare one, and I am going to build a monster out of it, and just see what I can do.
Yeah.
Should be fun.
There's a lot of great things you can do with an 80-inch. Go with the Hemi heads. Go with
That's what she said.
yeah. No, I mean, there's a lot of good things you can do with those bikes, but I guess what I was leaning more towards before was like the actual brands that you guys like. I know you said Vance & Hines Pro Pipe, Johnny is what you love.
Yeah, for my intake, I just use the Screaming Eagle ventilator, and currently on my bike I have the 7 series cams or cam on it, whatever that one is. They're Harley Davidson's torque cam, not their horsepower cam.
I'm a personal fan of Andrews for cams. Definitely like I'm about to put a EV27 in my Road King. Great bolt-on cam. Read a lot. I've probably been doing about a year's worth of research on it, just to see what's true bolt in. I don't want to do any head work on this. I don't want to, end up, going hotter than I need to. But it puts me right in a really good mid-range power band, and we'll see what it looks like, before and after. But I'm pretty stoked to get it in.
What about you, Wigsley?
Cams.
So you don't have to select the choice of like brand or anything like that?
For aftermarket performance stuff,
Yes.
I would say that I don't have enough experience, especially with the modern brands that are out there making stuff for the current bikes and last gen bikes, to say. I know I like the way Bassani's sound. And let's be honest, sound is a big part of when you buy pipes.
No,
It's
of course.
part of the equation,
Yeah.
But let's see, Steve's bike's still mechanically stock, so I haven't even ridden his bike with any of the mechanical upgrades on it. I'll tell you what, on my Sportsters, and especially before I owned Harleys, it's been about cheap. It's been about what's going to work, what's going to get to my door for the least amount of dollars, the quickest. When I buy my next bike, which I'm looking at maybe going Dyna, it'll matter way more to me what brands I use for certain things. It'll still be a crapshoot just because I don't have years of experience reviewing this and that brand stuff. Probably would defer to my mechanic. Like Johnny said earlier, is, hey, this is what I'm looking at. This is what I like. Do you have a reason why I should buy something else? Is there something I'm overlooking?
So I've heard the exhaust on a Dyna from Two Brothers Racing, I think, TBR, sounds phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to remember, is it American Racing? I believe is I had their 2-in-1. It was the loudest exhaust I'd ever had on a motorcycle. It was stupid annoying, but it produced a ton of power. So it just comes down, do the research, and if you're looking for power, go and look at the dyno sheets of people that have shown what their exhaust is doing. And just understand, exhaust is probably the worst dollar for power purchase you're going to make. But they
Agreed.
can be, because you have to get it. You have to get a freer flowing exhaust. But if it's sound, today on YouTube, there's probably every major exhaust on the market that you can go and listen to a video and hear what it's going to sound like. And just remember, you don't know what someone on the internet has done to their bike. So take whatever you're listening to as, okay, this is what it could sound like.
Not only that, but the audio processing as well. You know, what microphone did they use? What recorder did they use? Were they going into a camera? What were the settings in the camera? What did they do in post? You know, there's a million things.
I can tell you this, that I actually, listening to the before and after on Mixbike, I really like the pipe that he has on there now. I do.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm going to tell you this, like, God honest truth. I like the fact that, like, when it's idling, it's not, like, overwhelming. But when you get on it, you know you're there. You know, and that's what I like about it. You can fire it up at 6 o'clock in the morning when you're going to work, and it's not going to be, you know, it's not going to be window rattling, you know, neighbor pissing off type scenario. But like, I've been on the receiving end of him passing me at a high rate of speed, and it is deafening.
So, which one is it? Thunderheader. The best sounding exhaust on a Harley, especially on a twin cam. It's
the
amazing.
little megaphone that they have on there.
Yeah,
is,
it's sad that the build quality is lacking. Every single Thunderheader I've ever seen has rust on it by the end of the second season. It's already starting to rust out. I'm sure you could probably do something to remedy that, but if you're spending that kind of money on exhaust, it should be fine coming out.
JC said, I believe we've gotten power hungry over the years. No one needs the power we have on nowadays.
I actually agree with that.
I agree as well.
Spiff joined in on you saying it's the most cost per dollar.
So most of the people out there, and I don't purposely try to pick on the sport bike world, but that's where it's at. Most of the sport bikes on the market today, even the 600s, have more power than the majority of the riders on them can handle. And it comes from the fact that it's a big motor and a very, very lightweight bike. There's a lot of power there. Now, there will always be a need to build more power. Always. I needed more power in my computer. Therefore, I built it up. That's just who we are as human beings. We have to have more power.
Yeah, but the big thing is like, stop and think about it like this, right? Like the Boss Hoss. Who the fuck needs to have a Corvette LT1 motor strapped between their legs?
Because America, goddammit.
Like, I don't see the point.
I'm waiting until they bring out the jacked up version.
Well, you saw that Boss Hoss did one with a Viper engine in it, right? So, look, there are extremes. 100%. That is a great example of an extreme. However,
What's up, Truck Man?
You don't know you didn't need it until you have it. If you don't have it, you don't know you need it. It's just like the Bugatti Veyron. We did not know we needed that car until that car sought us out and said, "You desire me." So that's just how it is. That's where I'm coming from.
No, and I agree with you desire me, but you don't need me.
Well,
We've survived 40 plus years without one.
None of us need a Harley.
Well, but hold on. By that logic, then we don't need motorcycles because people survived millions of years without them. So
I know, but I'm
gonna
about
take a
small
little
steps
issue.
in
I'm
evolution.
gonna take a step back from that statement just a little bit.
Always. I don't even know where this stuff goes. I'm full on screen though. Yeah,
But-
this
But
spiff.
I will say that I have ridden motorcycles that had more power than I needed. I've ridden a few that have legitimately scared me. And I don't regret riding them. But I'm also the type of person that knows my ability and how much of a
limitations.
pucker factor I'm willing to risk. Now I do risk management for a living. So I'm always weighing stuff out. Risk to reward.
Life is like an
Yeah.
actuary table.
It is.
It is.
Pretty much. I mean, I think like the only bike that I've ever ridden that like scared me was actually a buddy of mine builds up VMAXs, and people from all over the world send him their motors for him to do work on. And the one that he's got the first year built and the last year built, and I'm telling you, that first year build scares the daylights out of me. It just wants to go, and the throttle response is just scary. You know, and it's like he'll drag race that thing, and he'll tell me all day long. You know, he's like, that thing just it just scares me, and I'm like, righteously. But
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I wouldn't want to own a bike that I was like fearful to ride. You know, I just want to be comfortable on it, and I just want to go.
Spiff says, question, why Boss Hoss? Answer, why not Boss Hoss?
So
Well, by that rationale, why don't we just get a Caterpillar motor in there and just put 100% torque in there, and there you go.
So
um,
has anybody ridden a Triumph Rocket 3?
I have.
I have
I have
not.
not.
I totally
Okay.
want to.
That bike scared, and we're talking about the old one, not the new one they just came out with.
Oh, the old ones are-
original.
The old
I
ones are
rode my
super
buddies, and it was
fast.
fully decked out, old man bagger style, extra weight all over it. Dude, I breathed at the throttle, and immediate pucker, like just gone, dude. No, it was kind of like the Harley Livewire, where there felt like there was no gap between my wrist and to go.
Yeah. So the first bike to scare me. So when I first started out, it's, little baby Jonathan at 17. I am at my buddy's shop, and it was my birthday. I had my bike there. That's where I stored it, 'cause Mom and Dad would never let me ride a motorcycle. And for my birthday, he had taken all of the fairings off of my Gixxer and put Gixxer 1000 fairings on it. And the issue with this is they were the exact color as his Gixxer 1000. He put all this stuff on, and he forgot which bike was his. So we started up and went. And I was like 10 days on a motorcycle. And we get on 75 Central Expressway in Dallas. It's one of the busiest highways in the area. And we're getting on the highway, and I crank back on the throttle, somewhat used to what my bike should have done. I crank back hard. The bike did this. Bloop. I somehow brought it down, pulled over to the side of the road, got off the bike, and my buddy's like, I think you're on my bike. I think I need to go
Johnny-
home and change my pants.
Johnny's like, I want my fairings back.
Yeah. But the Gixxer 1000 was the first bike to ever scare me. The second bike was a Hayabusa.
I have
And-
that was a scary bike.
That was my first.
And the third time was a Hayabusa. The fourth time was a Hayabusa. And I believe the fifth time may have been another freaking Hayabusa. I am a glutton for punishment, but something about that bike, I have to. Yeah. It's about an orgasmic experience. Something about it.
Closest thing a human being will ever come to see God.
That Hayabusa was the first time I ever hit 150 miles per hour on a motorcycle.
At that moment, everything just stops. It's weird.
It's the quietest.
Yeah.
It's the quiet is deafening.
No, it's like you're traveling too fast for the sound around you, and it's peaceful.
That's what being in a Fisker Karma's like.
Yeah.
The quiet.
But I don't know. I mean, I think some of the folks that have been in the comments talking about it, about more power this, more power that. It's a marketing scheme. And you really see it the most nowadays and to this point, to JC's point here, it's in baggers. And here's why every company is pushing hard on baggers. It's the highest profit margin for them.
Yep.
Harley Davidson makes more money every time someone goes out and buys a bagger than on any of the other motorcycles they make. So don't give in to marketing. Almost all of it's bullshit. My nephew, he's a marketing major. And I was like, well, it's kind of a good job for you because you're full of shit. And so we're all marketers. So I love the little bastard. I raised him. But yeah,
it's a true statement.
It is. But that's what kills me. Do you guys ever read hotcars.com? It's a blog site. Pretty popular. They beat the shit out of Harley Davidson regularly about how these 10 motorcycles are better than a Harley. These 15 are better than a Harley. This is better than that. I'm like, at the end of the day, aren't they all motorcycles? I don't think any bike is worse than a Harley. At the same time, I don't think any bike is better than a Harley. I think every bike is different and they have their own particular purpose. What do you guys think? See, exactly. Yeah. I mean, for me, love the way the Harley Road Glide looks. I do not like the way the Indian Challenger looks. That doesn't mean that the Challenger is a worse bike. It just means it's not my taste and style. But I bring this up because that list, all 10 bikes that they had on this list were bikes that no one would ever choose over a Harley. And this is like, I'm thinking about, and this is what everyone sees. It's not just the hardcore biker community who reads all this stuff. It's everyone. People who only are into cars, people who are only into sport bikes, people who are only into dirt. All the negative press, and let's be real, the marketing behind it is telling people, and it's causing us, the community itself, to have a split. Oh, I'm a Harley guy, or I'm an Indian guy, or I'm a Japanese sport bike, or I'm a Euro trash bike. Why? Just go out and ride.
I mean, it's cool to be into your thing that you're into. Like,
Yeah.
I'm into Harleys. I totally buy into the Harley culture. But
Yeah.
If I can hold somebody's hand on their journey into that, then cool, that's a bonding thing. But like, I'm not trying to take my buddies that are on sport bikes and convert them like it's some kind of religion. That's where I think it gets taken a little. That's the Tods. That's the Tods of the world.
This is what Truckman says. So I bought a KLR 650. It does what I wanted in a bike.
Yeah, at the end of the day, if you personally like that bike, then that's the bike for you.
Well, I tell
Yeah.
you what, when you were
Yep.
saying the articles about these 10 are better than a Harley, these 15 are better than a Harley, my first question in my head, as you said that, was by what metric?
Exactly.
And if you're saying by performance, by high end torque, low end, whatever your number is that you want, if you're trying to be by the numbers, then definitely, no question. But
Even then,
that
the numbers
bike
get
that
skewed.
That guy saying's better might not tickle my balls.
Yeah.
Real quick, Spiff. You said my Dyna is my forever bike. We'll see. I have a wand for different bikes for different applications. Well, I don't sell my bikes that come and go. But my Dyna is my forever bike. We shall see.
No, but like here's the thing. Why can't the Dyna be his forever bike?
The same reason,
I mean,
because people always
no.
want more power.
No, I understand that, but like here's the kicker. Doesn't mean that he's not going to go get another bike with more power. At the end of the day, it's like it's his. It's what he likes. No different than my Road King. My bike's 23 years old. I love it. I don't want to get rid of it. Will I get another bike? Eventually, yeah. I would love to have another a second bike. But like I like my Road King. You know, it's my go-to comfort.
And you probably know every inch of that bike.
And then some.
Yeah. So again, it's that type of stuff that I think more and more people need to realize. If you like a 23-year-old motorcycle, good on you. Who cares? You're out riding. You know? If you're on a Honda Goldwing and you're 140 years old and it's a trike kit, cool. You're out there riding.
It's cooler than being in a station wagon.
Unless it's got that
I don't know
reverse
if it-
in the back.
If it's a Woody, I don't know, dude. There's a cool factor to the Woody.
You said Woody. All right, boys, that's cigarette time. I'll be right back.
No, I'm just gonna go with the fact of how it. Yeah. Said, oh, I want a Z900 because that bike will kill me one day. But the Dyna is my dream bike. I don't know.
And that's awesome. I
It
think
is.
that's awesome. So follow the dream, get the Dyna, keep the Dyna, whatever.
Oh, he's got a Dyna now.
So,
I think the big thing is don't let people kill your dream.
you know
'cause
honestly,
you
I
hear-
miss my
you hear-
Softail. I miss the shit out of it. That was my first Harley. I mean, I miss it. I wish I wouldn't have sold it. However, I've enjoyed every motorcycle I've ridden or I've owned since trading in that bike. So, do I miss that bike? Sure. But have I found new passions because I sold that bike? Yeah.
I just find it funny. Like I had a buddy of mine that like started riding probably about like 4 or 5 years ago, and his first bike was he bought a Sportster, and I kind of like told him, I go, look, for a first bike, you know, he's ridden before, but he's never like owned like a motorcycle. And I told him, I go, before you go ahead and buy, you know, like a Sportster or anything else like that, I mean, just get yourself something just to get yourself acclimated to being like on two wheels, you know? And then he comes home and he basically gets this Sportster. He had it for all of 3 months. And the whole time he had it, he's like, pro Sportster. This is a great bike. This is this, this is this, this is this. Then he went to a Softail like 3-4 months later. And then the Softail was the greatest bike ever made. Then he bought a Road Glide or a Street Glide, and that was the greatest bike ever made. It's like, I don't know, like I hate when people jump on that bandwagon of like the greatest bike ever made is what I own. You know, it makes no sense to me.
Right. But that's everyone's mentality. You know, someone goes and gets a Jeep, it's the best Jeep ever. Or it's the best brand ever. It's, I don't know. I mean,
I don't know. I don't have that mindset.
I look at my bike as the best bike for me right now. That's how I look at it. When it's time for me to upgrade my life, I will do so. You know, it could be something as simple as me going out and getting a BMW K1600B.
That's why I won't test ride. So he's got a Sportster. He said that's why he won't test ride a new bike because it's going to feel a lot better. I'm guessing is what he's going after. And
It's going to feel different, but is the grass greener?
I think with Harleys, as you step up,
Went to bed.
and this is just Harleys specifically, when you step up the ladder of them, you do notice a quality feel in the ride, I guess, of every one of them, or you used to. So that's where you get people keep buying the bikes. Like they say, this is their bike. Like you said, you miss your Softail, but you got rid of it. You know, it's you regret that decision, but you moved on to something bigger and better, even though you still love that bike because it's. I think a lot of it comes down to like people's first bike they ever buy. Because when you get into that, it's that connection you build with something. It's now a part of you versus a dream. You know, one day I can get a bike. Now you finally have one.
Yeah, sorry, I'm working. But to that point, it's not about cars, it's not about bikes, it's about cars for me. I've always been a fan of the Aston Martin coupes. Always. But I've always been a James Bond fan, so there's definitely a linkage there. However, if I go out and buy a DB9 and I'm fulfilling a dream ride by buying that car, that doesn't mean I'm going to stop dreaming. Okay, I have the DB9. What's my next dream car? And, you know, I got my 09 Road Glide was my dream bike. And then I got it. And that was no longer my dream bike. I had to think bigger. So that's how I do it. And when I look at things, it's just like when I look at my career. I always go after a job that I am way underqualified for, because then I can grow into it, and then I move on. And I think that's so many people are like that. They're seeking the next better thing. As long as that's, you know, going after something bigger, better is driving you to be a better version of you, go for it. If it's something like you're trying to keep up with your buddies, that's a failure. Don't ever try to keep up with your buddies.
That's more rider than... Dude, my roommate would ride me on my Sportster if I was on his 114 all day.
Well, I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about, okay, your buddy just got himself a brand new bagger. Then his buddy has to go out and get a brand new bagger.
Right.
So now Wigsley needs to go out and get a brand new bagger. Don't try to keep up with your friends in that situation.
Right.
Yeah.
I've seen too many people like that's one thing I do hate is like I've seen people come out of the Harley Riding Academy and immediately they're on a street glide. Like you just get off of Street 500s and your buddies tell you get that street glide and they get the street glide.
What's wrong with that?
It's because it's not based off of like what the person wants. It's their opinion's already being influenced because that buddy's already let them ride the road glides, that person's or road glides or whatever it is, or street glide. They've already let them they've kind of already zoned in their opinion on that bike specifically versus being like, you know, go find the bike that you want, test ride them all, and not give them shit about it, whatever they pick.
I think the biggest thing is like if you get into a situation like that, I mean, realistically, you're gonna find out what you're into. You don't know what you don't know. You know, and if you're coming out of like the Harley Academy and somebody is like guiding you towards the bike, that's on you to figure out, you know, take it for a test drive, see if you like it. Test ride some other bikes. You know, I tell people all the time, if you're going to buy a bike, test ride a bunch of them. Metrics, Americans, whatever you can, because you're going to find what suits you, but you got to do the research.
Hey, what's up,
You got to
Raymond?
do you got to do the legwork.
So Raymond says, respecting two wheels is what it's about for me. Love what you got and every other after. Best ever is always personal perspective, but forcing the fact that you have is the best your own opinion.
Agreed. That was very well put.
No, it is. I mean, that's very, because like for me, I've had moments where I didn't really, I'm not gonna lie. There's like, hey, I could trade the Heritage in on this and get this bike. It's a little bit bigger, and I'd have a little bit bigger bike. But the other side of me was just like, you absolutely love this bike. Like, this is literally your heart. Like, this bike is you. So you're going to lose that. And so, like, when I found the Heritage versus the Road King, the Heritage is, like, called out to me. I don't know what it was about it. Just sitting on it, riding it versus the Road King. It was something that was, like, it fit me perfectly. And that's what led me to not sell the Heritage, not go to a bigger bike. So, in my mind, the Heritage will always be the best bike. Like, if I can't do it now, I'm not going to do it later. But the Heritage is the best bike in my perspective. Yeah, in my perspective.
Well, it's not.
But like
that's the thing. There's a difference between it's the best bike in your perspective versus it's the best bike for you. Because I could tell you that the Heritage is the greatest bike in my perspective, but it's not the best bike for me.
No,
See what I'm saying?
But that's what I'm saying is like, and that's why I always make it clear to people when I talk about the Heritage, like my Heritage is, I always make sure they know it's my perspective of something. It's not like, this is not fact. This is my perspective, how I see things on the bike, how it could have been. And overwhelmingly, it's normally pretty good on the response to that. But I think too many people just will sell a bike because, the top selling bike Harley has is right here. They're gonna throw every gimmick at you they can.
And that's just going back to Johnny's comment of like keeping up with what's the latest and greatest.
Yeah, but as a new rider, so let's say you get into riding because you're buddies, and the first bike you get off of and get in there and look at is the Street Glide, because that's what everyone's kind of pointing you to. I feel like there's too much aim inside the dealership on what they want to sell versus like, because they wanted to sell me the Road King because they're like, oh, start throwing better and better deals at me about it because they didn't make much money on the Heritage, apparently is what it seems like from what Johnny said.
No, they don't.
And so they aren't making money on the Heritage. They want to sell that Road King and get that extra money.
If you want to have a good understanding, the higher priced Softails that have all of the goodies stacked on them, those kill the margin for Harley. Just like the more expensive touring bikes, those kill the margin. It's the entry level Softails, the entry level touring bikes where Harley really makes their profit.
I think like the biggest thing is that like, I don't know, you look at it from a perspective of, yes, no matter what dealership you go into, no matter where you walk into, whether you're buying a bike or a TV or whatever, someone's going to point you to their opinion, their experience, and they're going to say that, okay, here, the Road King, this is what you really want to go for. This is the bike that you want. It's like, you're the buyer. You have to decide what it is that you want. You got to do your research. You got to do the legwork. And when it comes down to a motorcycle, you definitely got to test ride them. It costs nothing to go to a dealership and test ride a bike, because you can look at a Street Glide and say, this bike is absolutely fantastic. I like the way they look. I like the way, like everything's set up on them. The problem is the first time I ever rode one, I was awfully uncomfortable on it. And if I would have just gone off the opinion of the salesman and the people around me telling me that this is the bike that I want, this is the direction I want to go, like I would be spending a ton of money to make it comfortable.
Wendover says, if I knew a new bike I really wanted, I'd probably pull the trigger. And JC says, if I knew a bike I really wanted, I could have saved a lot of money and time.
That's a true statement right there for a lot of people.
My dealership sold me the bike I wanted, didn't try to sell me up on something else. That must be unique to Canada, because in the United States, the Harley dealers want to sell you the whole store if they could.
Well,
Well, I mean,
that's just
depends on where you go.
It's just business.
Yeah.
yeah.
If
I
they're
mean, you got to understand.
if they're not trying to sell you the most expensive thing in the store, they need new salespeople.
And I agree with Wigsley. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like their job is to remember they're commission based. So for them, it's real simple. And I can make $1,000 by selling you this, or I can make $3,000 by selling that. I'm going to obviously push for the bigger margin.
Well,
That's just basic sales.
yeah. I mean, look, I think at the end of the day, we're all saying the same thing. Ride whatever bike you want. Period.
As long as it's not a Triumph.
Ride a Triumph.
I want a Triumph
I'm
Tiger.
teasing. It was a joke.
I desperately would like a Triumph Tiger. Those things are so beautiful.
I'm going to tell you this. You're always going to find somebody that's going to point out the flaws. Oh, your bike's not big enough, or your bike's not this, or your bike's not that, or it's an 80 cubic inch Evo and it can't keep up with my 114.
Oddly specific. Not pointing any fingers, dick.
No,
I
but
mean,
like,
you know what though, man? Like I'll say, as somebody who Norseman, I also ride older bikes. I have 2 Sportsters that are both about 30 years old, and like, I don't blame any of my friends who spent 20,000 plus on a bike for like paying that they paid for bragging rights. I get that. I understand that. I don't fault anyone for it, really.
yeah.
Biff says bolt-on performance. Every Eagle on your bike is plus 5 horsepower. Stickers are 10.
Oh, speaking of stickers, if you get a motorcycle mix sticker, I hear those things are worth 15 horsepower.
They are.
Oh,
But only on Japanese bikes.
That's fine. That's fine.
On American bikes, 30 horsepower.
Is that because
we
of
prefer,
the conversion from metric to English?
Yes.
we prefer the term Hurspers.
Hurspers.
Hurspers. But JC said, but at the same time, you should be trying to fit the bike best that fits you and what you need to do. So they should be taking the time to do that.
Okay, but let's be real, though. How many brand new riders actually know what they want the motorcycle to do?
yeah.
Huh.
Right on.
So
That's
to Raymond's
peculiar.
point here, that's how I believe our local dealerships do it. And that's one of the things that Harley corporate may have pushed down, saying, hey, just sell the right bike for the rider. And they could have their incentives different, I guess.
See,
It
the
depends
thing
how
is,
the
is like,
sales guy looks at it too, because if he makes you happy and sells you a Sportster when maybe he should have sold you a Softail, he makes a good customer, and then he gets a smaller commission, but he gets commission in 2 years when you step up, in 2 more years when you buy a bagger. You know, a lot
Plus
of
the
those guys
referrals.
bank on the comeback customer.
yeah, and the referrals. The referrals are big.
Yep.
Because I know guys that will not go to specific dealerships around here because, well, you're just one of many, you know, because you walk in there and you're being sold something that you're going to spend more money on than if you go to another dealership. Like we have a mutual friend of ours that was looking at a 2014 Street Glide that, you know, the price they wouldn't come down with the price at dealership A, but at dealership B they said, yeah, we can knock off $2,500 off of this, and they literally went and did a dealer trade with dealership A for the same freaking bike. And the only difference is you had to drive an hour to the dealership B, but like, why? Like you could have literally, Yeah, I mean, but that's just, I don't know. That's just,
I'll be honest. I'm not sure, and I'm not like dogging anybody's opinion here, but I'm not sure where this idea some people have that the dealership needs to cater to this need or that need or my version of honesty versus, what's good for me short term or long term. The dealership's there to sell you a bike, and it's on you to go dealership to dealership. It's on you to check the used market. I think a lot of people walk into dealerships that should be on Craigslist looking for a bike that's already been half modded the way they like. And, I'm not sure why people feel dealerships need to X, Y, or Z besides sell bikes. That's their purpose.
Spiff said, I walked in the dealership and pointed and said, I want that one. I'm taking it home today, or home today. Okay, thanks, bye. My dealership said, okay.
I bought my current bike sight unseen. I didn't step into the dealership. I called Hank, my sales guy's like, hey, find me a black on black Harley Davidson, Road Glide, whatever the fuck they're calling it nowadays, limited. And he called me a week later, got it. I was like, cool. Do I come in and pay for it? He's like, yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You did your research before you called them and told them what you wanted.
Yeah.
And then that's basically what it comes down to is that newer riders don't have the experience of like what it is that they want.
That they should take somebody with them.
That's how much he pays for 3 months of insurance on his motorcycle.
What?
Damn.
That's Canadian. Let's be honest. That's Canadian. That's still a lot of money.
Hold on. How many wheels does a motorcycle have, dude? What do they
charge per? What are they charging per axle?
Well, think about it like this, though. Up in Canada, their riding season's only like 3 months. So the insurance companies have to get the entire riding season out of those 3 months. I'm being a dick. I know.
Raymond H says, happy customer is a repeat customer.
Agreed. I'm just going to throw out this caveat, and I know this is unmotorcycle related, but it could save some coin. The insurance reform act or whatever that they're doing that starts in July 2nd, call your insurance company, talk to them about changing your coverage plan, and your insurance should be dropping.
Yep.
Just throwing that out there.
Also, though, we're getting less coverage in case of accidents with other motorists.
Well, in Michigan specifically, because the Michigan Catastrophic Fund is now being capped, which is fine and well, because the rest of us are paying for it. And I really don't feel that you need any more than like $300,000 worth of coverage.
Well, it's changing the way other people are liable if their car hits you while you're on your motorcycle. So when I got in my crash, the dude who hit me, whether he was found at fault or not, his insurance paid all my medical bills. That's changing in certain instances now.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It should save some money on auto and motorcycle, so.
Fucking better.
Well, Michigan's the highest.
Dropped like $80.
Dude, and that's because of COVID. They've been issuing credits left and right here because people haven't been driving their vehicles. But like the thing is Michigan has the highest rates in the nation, hands down. Even like Geico, who will sit there and tell you all day long that they will save you money on car insurance and motorcycle insurance. They don't even insure in Michigan.
A lot of companies
like Geico
don't.
Yeah, because we have astronomically high rates.
Well, that and just the laws are goofy.
Well, it's the catastrophic fund that's the big thing. That's the reason why, because they have to have that money in there in the event that someone is 20 years old, God forbid, and paralyzed for the rest of their life and now needs medical attention because of, due to an accident like that. So now he's covered for the remainder of his days. As opposed to every other state that like you have limited amounts.
Mm-hmm.
Your medical insurance covers part of it, and then the automotive covers the other half. But
yeah, that's just weird. Down here, it's So on the 2018 Road King special and on the 2020 Road Glide, I think I pay $700 a year for both bikes. Now, given Tracy and I have been riding, well, Tracy's been riding in the insurance eyes for over 20 years. So that's also something to think about. They can't check to see how long you've been riding, so don't tell them you've only been riding for a month.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Does the bike have a security system? Yes.
it does. It's called
Sure
a key.
does. Sure do.
4 clocks are a security system. Anything that can deter people, they're just going to try and steal
Every
the
time,
bike. in
every
those
time they
circles.
ask me if I have a security system on my vehicle, I picture Walter from
Breaking
Big
Bad.
Lebowski racking
Oh.
his fucking gun.
Do you have a security system on your bike? Yes. It's Oleg over in the corner. Does not say much, but the excellent communicator.
No,
No,
insurance is stupid here.
Insurance is a
It
scam,
is.
and it should be considered unconstitutional.
It's a gamble.
Well, but it's a forced gamble.
Yeah.
Like if I
It's-
want to register my bike, my truck, my trailer in Texas, I have to have insurance.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm like, how can you force insurance on me? Now there is a way around it, but it's it's more of a hassle than it's actually worth. But for me, I'm like, it's just like the whole healthcare thing. I am a big socialist when it comes to universal health care. I admit that. But you can't force me to pay for health insurance. That can't be a thing. That was the only issue I had with Obamacare. Was that
therein
it
lies
forced.
your whole problem.
Yeah.
If you didn't have insurance, you got freaking slapped with stuff.
In theory and in reality are two different things. And in theory, everyone having insurance or not being allowed to drive is good because then nobody's driving around not able to cover you when they slam into you. The problem is two things: is that you can't force 100% of people to do a thing.
No.
There will always be people that go to the ER without health insurance. There will
Mhm.
always be people driving without car insurance. And so the rest of us end up, because of that forced system, paying for those people who willfully are going to break the rule, whether it's a rule or not. And the other problem you have is that when you close a market like that and you tell an industry that everyone has to abide by this rule now, then that industry knows that they can push harder. And that's why, like Michigan, why we have such high auto insurance rates is because it's absolutely mandatory here, and the insurance companies have been allowed to essentially write the rules.
So
for so long.
where that is also common is in North Carolina. However, North Carolina's insurance rates are phenomenal. So I understand it from the protecting of other people, protecting, the innocent people. I definitely am all for that. I just don't like the fact that you can, have a captive audience and then screw them. So I think that's just where the state of Michigan probably dropped the ball the biggest, is they
See,
didn't
like-
regulate it.
That, and ideologically, that's the difference too between the way I look at. I walk into the Harley dealership, they owe nothing. Of course, they're trying to sell me the most expensive thing in the door, and I don't blame them. Whereas the insurance company, I have a different story because I'm required to work with the insurance company. So now, if the government's going to tell me, to your point, Johnny, if the government's going to tell me I have to deal with the insurance company, then the government needs to make sure that the insurance company doesn't, call in their buddy as they're spitting in their hand.
Yeah.
See, in Michigan, it's kind of funny because it's like if you look at how, like, if you ever looked at your breakdown, it's not so much the the insurance company that's raking you over the coals as opposed to the Michigan legislation
Yeah.
because of that catastrophic fund. That right there is, if you look at it, like in my case, I pay almost like what, $400 a year for my Road King, and it's got like just the bare minimum coverage that you need, you know. But the reason why if I look at the breakdown of my rates, you know, that $400 that I'm spending, $250 of it is because of the state of Michigan.
Yeah.
It's because the legislation is requiring the insurance companies to at minimum charge this, and that's before they even get to insuring you.
So the premise behind the catastrophic fund is to take care of someone should they need medical assistance for the rest of their life.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we think about this, and maybe y'all can confirm it, but shouldn't Mick and Wigsley be paying significantly more into the catastrophic fund than you, because they have a lot longer of a lifespan than you do,
Well, if you look at,
theoretically speaking?
Prove it.
and that's it.
Well,
Well,
sounds like
and if,
communism to me.
and if you look at it, no, and you're right, Johnny. I think the way that it works out is if you look at the longevity of
Mhm.
how long they're going to be paying versus how long I'm going to be paying. You know, they're going to be paying into it longer than I am. Obviously, I'm going to probably die before they will, depending on if Mick keeps
Accepted.
running his mouth.
Well,
Challenge accepted.
you know, I could liken this to that. Yeah, I'm probably paying a lot more right now into Social Security than my grandparents, whose Social Security I'm paying for.
It's a shit system any way you look at it. You know,
Yeah,
I always have
taxation
every
stuff.
year. Yeah, I mean, it's like I have the same argument with my insurance guy every year. It's like he almost like puts it down as an anniversary that, you know, I'm gonna call, we're gonna talk, and explain to him very simply put, I haven't had a ticket in close to 20 years. Speeding ticket, parking ticket, nothing in close to 20 years. All this money that I'm paying for is going for nothing in my mind, because my rates keep going up, because everybody's rates keep going up. But why am I? What do I get out of it? Being that I'm a good driver, I'm a good rider. Nothing. I don't get anything out of it. I don't get any money back. You know, that's why these insurance companies have to come up with some sort of like sales pitch to get you to buy their insurance. Like, oh, we have accident forgiveness, or we have this, or we have that. You know, to me, it really doesn't matter, because it's like, I haven't been in an accident. And if you look at from a risk assessment, I am a lot less of a risk than somebody that's 20 years old that's got 6 points on their license. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't know. I shop my insurance every year. And and insurance brokers would tell you not to do it. It's bullshit. And here's
they're lying.
why. And here's why insurance brokers do not want you to do it. Insurance brokers get a commission based on the new customer and renewals. When they bring in a new customer, they get less of a commission than when that customer renews, because it costs a lot more for the insurance company to bring on that new customer. So that first year, that first 6 months, whatever the policy term is, the broker will get a smaller commission. But then when they renew, since neither group has to do anything, the broker gets a bigger commission, because it doesn't cost anyone anything additional to continue making that money, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So no broker wants you to convert to a different insurance. And they say, oh, you're going to lose your renewal discount. I don't get a discount if my price is higher. So you can take your renewal discount and shove it up your ass.
It's like those sales that you see at the store, you know. It's 50% off the 250% markup.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Johnny?
What? I'm sorry. I got work pinging me. I didn't even hear it. Repeat it.
Go ahead, Norseman.
he just called you out on he was just calling you out. He's like
What?
Nailed it.
the fact that you were looking down at your work phone.
No, we've all been in that moment. Well, he's got like a work tablet.
I got an iPad. I got the damn phone right here off of screen. I got my fucking laptop right here, and I got another computer right here, all for work. But I do
man.
have to go. I'm on vacation, and I've already worked 40 hours this week. Just saying. So, gentlemen, it has been fun as always. Thank you for having me.
Johnny, pleasure. Take it easy, brother.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Later.
Wow, got a lot quieter. It's got like that mega audio.
Don't sass me. I'm trying to do drugs and fuck bitches. You know, work with me here. Was this trying to be monetized? Have I just said fucking drugs way too many times?
And I think it was the
No.
fuck bitches part that
Yeah. No, the real monetizations from the videos. That's what really matters. Live streams are just a bonus.
Can we we talked about your shirt. Can I bring up mine for my good cause?
Well, yes. Yes,
Okay,
you can.
so for anybody watching in the chat, I also put out a shirt this week. It has my logo on the front, and on the back it says "Wear a fucking helmet." It's custom designed. I designed it. It can be bought on Teespring for $20. It's all proceeds go to my buddy Joe, who crashed his bike without a helmet. Yes, that makes him stupid. Yes, I'm still gonna help him. So the shirt's a bit of a joke, but it legitimately I don't know what my thing would be, man. Let me send it to you. But every dollar that I get, plus I'm matching every order $1 that will go directly to Joe. Did you find it?
Just shot and directed my first commercial. Did you put that up?
What?
Your
Oh yeah, I've done commercials. Okay, here we go. Send to Mick. Sent. iMessage.
that's not. Oh, by the way, it's 2 weeks, Norseman. Till
what's 2
those,
weeks.
till those 7-inch Rogue Rider lights come back.
Okay. Just kind of hoping to have them before next Wednesday.
I don't know why this one. Gotta play games.
Hey, Wiggs,
What's up?
how long are you gonna have those shirts for sale?
They're going to be for sale indefinitely, and the proceeds will continue to go to Joe. That shirt is in honor of Joe.
Right on, man. Right on.
So far, we've sold 10 shirts, which at $4 a shirt profit makes $40, and I'm throwing on $1 per shirt. So far, we've made Joe $50, and we've gotten some really generous offers.
There you go.
For people that are going to donate some Sportster parts. But if anybody, he rides a Sportster 1200. I think it's like early 2000s. I can get a number on it. But if anybody wants to reach out, Wigsley@iCloud.com. You can email there, and we're happy to take any parts that might fit Joe's bike. It's definitely going to be a work in progress, and I'm going to do any and all labor on it that I can for free for him.
Hey, Wiggs, if you need help on that, I can help out too.
Cool, I appreciate that, man. He's actually out from your area, dude. Well,
Is he?
kind of between us, yeah. Lake Orion.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. If there's anything that you need, just let me know. I mean, if we can get the bike over here, I can throw it up on the hoist, and we can rebuild the whole thing.
Oh no shit, that'd be really cool, man. I've been working with my mechanic, but like to do anything like that, like putting shit on he's running a business. Putting shit on his lift takes money away. So maybe that's
right
something,
now. Right now, I've got nothing on there other than mixed fender, and like I said, I'd be more than happy to do some work on it.
They don't know about that
Nobody
yet.
has- What about what?
Also, along
Your
with
old
that,
fender?
sorry, yeah, my old fender. Also, like that, we have the motorcycle make Teespring also done. All proceeds from that go to Project Clean Slate, which is gonna help a vet get a motorcycle. If you don't like that, then fuck.
Dude, am I the only one that doesn't have a T-shirt?
What do you mean?
I mean, like Wiggs has got a T-shirt. You've got a T-shirt.
Design a
I'm just
logo.
gonna, forget the logo, man. I'm just gonna put this beautiful face on the front of a T-shirt.
Have Wigsley illustrate your face.
That'd be great. Let's do a stick figure with a big beard.
It's Osama bin stick figure.
believe it or not, dude, I drew that design for Mick's shirt. I use an iPad Pro and the Apple Pencil and an app called Procreate. And I do like all my stuff. Like, believe it or not, that yes, it's digital, but yes, it's hand drawn.
Right on. I
I
like
don't
it.
know. I can't.
I
wait
was
to
just
get
giving
mine
you
in.
shit about it looking like a shadow, right?
Oh yeah. I know. So this is. We'll click on one of the. Since we've got this science down. So this is the one that Wigsley was talking about, the design he did. That's my heritage he illustrated. And on the back, it's got the motorcycle make logo. So yeah, that thing is super sweet. I can't wait to get
I'm
mine
happy
in.
with how it turned out.
I ordered one already. I'm waiting for it to come in. Oh yeah, you got. Wow, the Norseman's just way behind on this one. He also put that shirt in kids design.
Oh yeah.
I got kid shirts for that.
Right on.
So kids can get that shirt and wear it.
You know what I think you need? I think you need a T-shirt with your ending catchphrase.
I'll just have all the words on there.
I think that would just be. I would wear that.
Oh,
think
wait.
that-
Have
that-
a good
that-
night, Raymond.
Later, Raymond.
What's your opinion on new versus old motorcycles? Buy and ride what you want to. Me personally, I love the Milwaukee 8. I love the way it rides, and I love my heritage. So I like newer bikes. Older bikes are fun, but it's looking at the two interests in what you have in riding. Do you have the interest to have power and go quickly, or it's that comfort factor? Oh
Do you
wait,
want a bike that Do you want a bike that has more miles vertically than horizontally? Get an older bike.
does
Yeah,
it
my
come
answer would be yes and yes.
at motorcycle? Does it come in Henley? My shirt? I don't. I'll have to look into that. If it isn't, I will. If it is an option, I'll add one on there for the hemp.
Hey, I'm just letting you know. Spiff agrees with me. The outro definitely needs to be a T-shirt.
I'll work on it tonight and see if I can get figure out how to design it into a whole ending.
So I'm
Yeah.
seeing several. I've seen twice now. How long are we going to have the shirts for sale, guys? The way Teespring works is we put it up there and it's up there. Like it's order on demand. So if you don't have money today, this week, next week, or next month, like they're not going to run out because they haven't printed your shirt yet until you order it.
So if you want a shirt, they will be up there indefinitely.
Yeah, I plan on putting it in all my. If anybody subscribes to my channel, it'll be in every video description, every video from here on out. How to find that.
Yeah, every one of my videos, I got the Teespring in there.
Yeah.
I buy the outro shirt. I see what you said there.
See,
I think Henley is like a hemp or something like that. I'm not sure. I'll have to do some
like
research on that.
type of shirt,
Maybe
like a specific cut of a shirt.
Henley. I have no fucking clue.
No.
No, but yeah, I mean, I'll
It's way too
probably
fancy for me.
add
Sounds
Shirt-
like
shirts
some,
on there as I go.
Sweater arms draped over the shoulder, tied in a knot. What do they call that? Waspy. Sounds like something.
Henley is a
wasp would wear.
pattern. A T-shirt
You know, with some loafers.
Dude,
T-shirt
Dude.
with buttons.
I think we should get the motorcycle Mick Dicky.
But just a dickie. No sweater.
Just a Dicky.
No sweater over it. Just a dickie.
No sweater over, just a Dicky with a little turtleneck. It says
I'm in.
motorcycle Mick on the neck.
I'm in, dude. We'll start a whole ride called Rides for Dickies.
Yeah, we're having a sponsored ride for cocular cancer.
Bring your Dicky.
Bring your dickie.
Bring your dickie.
What?
That's funny. That was funny.
There's some cool designs I could do with it and some other stuff. I think I'm gonna try and I don't know if I want to mess with Illustrator on my iPad and try and challenge Wigsley, but I don't think it'll work. That's a Henley. I'm gonna illustrate. No, I'm gonna illustrate.
Henley?
No, I'm gonna illustrate my freaking logo.
Outro.
No, my outro's good. I like my outro. I like my intro.
I didn't.
I could do that. You know what I wanted to have you do is actually come over here, grab my Apple Pencil, and like throw your signature down real quick, and then I can like manipulate it and resize it. And what I wanted to do was try and make whatever your signature saying the motorcycle Mick in your handwriting, and attach it like to the bottom of the wheels of the bike, and try to like manipulate it so that it almost looks like it would be the shadow of the bike.
That would be pretty cool.
Actually, pretty cool. Wait.
Wiggly, you are worth your weight in gold, man.
Yeah. And the motorcycle. Do they have a shop
Not that
shirt?
heavy.
A shop shirt version. I will have to look at these things later on Teespring and go into depth and
No,
work
that's
on.
good though. We know that we should make more versions of these. I just have a t-shirt. I should do hoodies and stuff.
Wait, isn't a shop shirt just a bowling shirt without stripes?
Yes.
Pretty much.
And itchier.
And itchier. It is always itchier. What
Oh yeah.
is my big kitty?
I absolutely hated the Harley work shirts, the shop shirts. I gotta go get my cat now.
He just chills.
We all have beards. We all have bikes. We all have cats.
Because cats are great.
We met at a bathhouse. Nobody questioned it.
Never.
Not yet. Not yet.
I never question anything. I take it at face value.
What's everybody been watching?
I've been on a Storm Chasers bench.
Yeah.
How to Get Away with Murder.
Okay.
You get stoned to watch Storm Chasers, the tornadoes come out of the TV.
I've been between YouTube videos concerning the new Apple software that's going to drop this fall and what's coming and what features come with it.
Is that going to be a new OS that goes
Dude.
into all of them?
Yeah, it's iOS
Kinda.
14. It is, from what I've seen, it's awesome.
Yeah, so what they're doing is they're finally trying to merge the Mac computer with the iPad. And that's a slow process, but they're making the move to do it. So one thing that happened this week is they have announced that they're definitely going to start using the processor chip that is in my iPad Pro in Mac computers. It is more powerful than the current Intel processors that they're using. And so they released a developer kit so that software companies can start developing software to run on that, which will run much more the way iPad run things. The new Mac operating system called Big Sur also got revealed, and it looks more like iPad, and iPad OS looks a little more like Mac. So like they're kind of starting to. They already have a thing where your MacBook can like run sidecar with your iPad, and they can be one thing with two screens. But I think they're really leaning into that. The new iPhone OS is cool. It's just kind of cleaner. I've been between that and Star Wars cartoons because I'm an adult who gets stoned.
Are you talking about Clone Wars?
I finished Clone Wars, and by the way, the end of Clone Wars is fucking awesome. The whole last season, like the last half of it, lines up directly with Revenge of the Sith, which I loved. And I'm now on to Rebels, and the first season hurt because it's not very good. Seasons 2 and 3, much better. That's what I have to say about that.
So start with season 2.
I mean, it's worth kind of having season 1 on in the background, you know, because it's all new characters and whatever. But season 2 is kind of where they start bringing in other characters that you know from Clone Wars and stuff like that. First season's just aimed a little too hard at kids. The seasons after that kind of get that Pixar quality where it's appealing to any age. It's written deeply enough. The Mandalorian is the shit. The Mandalorian is the only Star Wars Disney has produced that feels like fucking Star Wars.
On top of that, apparently it is Yoda.
No. It would have been alive at the same time as Yoda. Mandalorian set 5 years after Return of the Jedi. Yoda dies in Return of the Jedi. The baby's 50 years old. So the baby would have been 45 years old when Yoda died. They were alive at the same time. So that's the one thing we know it's not, is literally actually Yoda.
Then the show creators are lying to us all.
No, it's a child of the same species, and we don't know if it's Yoda's like child or a clone of Yoda or just randomly another Yoda-like thing. There's a whole thing
Yoda
where
procreating.
The chick that runs Lucasfilm is getting thrown out on her ass, and Jon Favreau, who makes The Mandalorian, is gonna take over Star Wars.
I think that's going to be good.
No more feminist Star Wars. Not that I don't like bitches. I don't want to like bring down the mood.
No, I mean, this.
That's fair.
I think, yeah, but I think it's when it, I think it's the concept of who's the main character in the movies is who they pick as like the style director.
Well, the problem with Rey isn't that she's a girl. The problem with Rey is that her entire story is stolen from Anakin and Luke. She gets Anakin's lightsaber. She bests Luke in combat 2 days with the lightsaber. I mean, literally, if we're going through the story they went through, then Anakin's turn to the light doesn't matter, and he wasn't the chosen one, and she is. She didn't have her own story. They didn't take the time to write the character into a character. I have strong feelings about this.
Well, they say she might.
Sounds like it.
She's
I
a Mary
was-
Sue. I'm gonna say it. She's a Mary Sue.
I don't know. I don't know where they're gonna go with Star Wars after this.
They're doing multiverse like Marvel. They want to undo the trilogy that they just did that everybody hated. So they're trying to find a way to like break time and space so that they can have alternate timelines and go back on a bunch of the dumb shit they just did. Did anybody see the last Star Wars?
Yeah, I thought
Ooh,
the ending was.
woof, dog. I audibly laughed several times in the theater.
I don't know, man. Like
We're
these.
all running out of ideas.
No, like this trilogy is basically, freaking. I mean, it makes the first prequels look good. I mean,
Yeah.
as that sounds.
Oh, dude, and I've always like had a soft spot in my heart for the prequels. If you're a Star Wars fan, I get having kind of issues with the prequels, but like, I think we can all come together. Prequels fans, original trilogies fans, we can all join hands, like Coca-Cola, one voice for the world, in calling for like the burning of every copy of the sequel trilogy of Star Wars because it's a reboot. It's a bad reboot. It's not even a good reboot. How about
Yeah, right
the
there.
Trooper that defected and then they like never mentioned it again? What great writing that was.
Way too many sides. Oh yeah, way too many side stories in the last three movies. Everyone wanted a special snowflake part in the movie.
Okay, so I watched this video essay the other day about why the First Order are actually the good guys, and the Resistance are like religious fanatic terrorists. And it was like a funny, like tongue-in-cheek video. And about 25 minutes into it, I wasn't really paying attention, and I hear this guy say, "I hope an eternity burning in hellfire is long enough for Rose Tico to learn to tell a story that's not a complete lie." It made me laugh.
That is comical.
I just don't even understand what they do with this stuff anymore. Like, because apparently Boba Fett's going to be in season 2 of The Mandalorian. Just throwing that out there.
Heck, and yes, he is.
And
And it's the guy who played Jango Fett in the prequel.
yeah, that's what I love so much about it is they brought him back.
And Ahsoka is going to be Rosario Dawson. And
Oh, so they're
Bo-Katan is Claire Danes. I think Claire Danes. If not Claire Danes, then the other chick that looks like Claire Danes but is just slightly uglier. Yeah, there's a bunch of people going to be in it. What they're doing is they're using that as a springboard to launch a bunch of different other shows. It's going to be more like the MCU.
because Boba is Jango's clone.
Yeah.
You know what's like when you think about that, it really messes with your head because you're like, all those years ago, they used this guy specifically knowing they could make the Mandalorian, bring Boba Fett back in. Like this had to have been some kind of 10-year plan.
Well, the Mandalorian show was going to be a Boba Fett standalone movie, and then it got canceled and then turned into what it is now. So they're kind of like rolling with it as they go. It's the one thing they've done that's just been wildly like accepted by all the fans. So they're gonna do the right thing and springboard off of it. Because blah blah blah, dark side, unnatural. Stupid. Fuck J.J. Abrams and Ryan Johnson, dude. If I can say that on the internet, then we live in a great country.
We live in an absolutely great country. Uncommon to contrary relief, apparently. I want to see that. Oh, hey, turn your camera. I'm gonna give me a second. Let's see. We're gonna turn that. There's gonna be a way to turn that off. Oh well, screw it. I want to see what that fender. I want to see the fender.
You want me to show you?
Yes. Since whoever's here right now deserves to see it.
Ugh. Let me figure out how to flip the camera.
Control Alt Delete.
On my iPad.
Yeah, why not? It's worth a shot.
Nope, that ain't it. I'll go to my settings. Go to rear camera.
You know, you can go like,
There
Go
we
in.
go.
there she is. Oop. Can I get a close up of that? Because that's just gorgeous.
Here, we'll do the. It's like part porn.
Can't wait to put the thing on the bike.
It's gonna look pretty sweet. It's gonna look pretty sweet, dude.
I'm excited, man. Take a little way out the front, add a little more style. And the fact that
Most definitely.
I think the best decision was getting it painted. 100% getting it painted.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, don't think
And then the rest of your parts are drying. They're your bolts, and there are your spacers.
So those of you that are still here tuned in, this is the fender that's going to be in the video this week. Give you a little sneak peek. That is the Clockwork Slicer fender. So pay attention for it. But we've been going for an hour and a half. I think I'm going to end it there, guys. Thank you, everyone, for coming in the chat that's here. Go check out Dirty D's live stream. I think it's tonight, too, at 9 my time. But that's for the Heritage. But, yeah, that's all I got. All right. And as always, I hope you have a great day, evening, night, morning, afternoon tea, brunch, lunch, nightcap, midnight snack, crumpet, McGriddle, bacon sandwich. And remember to always ride for freedom. Goodbye.